6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The History with Jackson podcast. Hello and welcome to the History with Jackson podcast, and welcome to the Katherine of Aragon Festival special series in partnership with Peterborough Cathedral and Peterborough Museum. Now, this special series is looking and covering the Katherine of Aragon Festival. We will be speaking to some of the historians who are giving Tudor-focused talks and tours around Peterborough and Peterborough Cathedral. We will also be speaking to some of the amazing living historians who are reenacting parts of Katharine's life. This festival commemorates Katharine's amazing life from the 25th to the 29th of January 2024. And if you hear any part of this festival coverage, do try and get down to Peterborough Cathedral to experience some of the events that we are covering. All the information for the events will be in the description below. And without further ado, let's get into this episode of the Katherine of Aragon Festival special series. Hello and welcome back to the History of Jackson podcast. Welcome back to the Katherine of Aragon Festival special series. Now, day one, as you can see, it's morning because day one was a long day.
Day one was a long day.
A very long day.
We finished Dr. Emerson's talk quite late, and we wanted to catch the cathedral in all of its beauty while we give you our roundup this morning for last night. And
this is not even the most beautiful angle. So yesterday you saw the facade and some of the TikToks. We've got the beautiful new building, the Tudor extension over here. So we're looking forward to sharing these angles of the cathedral with you. But this is about day one of the awesome Katherine of Aragon Festival. Now, me and Abby separated through the day. Let's talk about your day first, Abby.
So I started my day at Peterborough Museum with the vaults tours, and that was such a cool tour because you actually get to go beneath the museum and see the original structure and facade of the building and like the ancient stone. I say ancient, the 16th century stonework that still is there in the foundation of the Georgian building that we see today. That originally was Neville Palace, built during the Tudor period. It was finished completion in 1536, so a very poignant year because that's when Katharine died. So yeah, and the tour was just really incredible. So much history, so engaging and accessible for both an older audience and a younger audience, and our tour guide was superb as well. So like I really had a great day for that, and it's a shame you missed it.
Yeah, I was super jealous because that was something I've always wanted to do. I was like, oh man, that's gonna be awesome, and then I was like,
I mean, the tour is year round, and they do have an escape room set up in the vaults as well, so you can always go back some other time.
Yeah, and I certainly will.
Yeah.
I'm quite jealous that you went, but you know.
Yeah, how was your day? So
yeah.
While I was enjoying the vaults, Jackson was actually at the cathedral.
Yeah, I was enjoying the beautiful sights of inside this stunning building. So inside, I did a Tudor tour. We had costume tour guides. We were talking about the various different Tudor aspects of the cathedral. So we looked at old scarlets. We then went across the choir stalls and looked at the Tudor figures within these beautiful choir stalls. They are something that we're going to be looking at trying to create some content around, because these choir stalls within this cathedral are stunning.
Beautiful. They're so intricate as well, and each of like the different figurines are something to do with the church's history or just religious history in general, and it's really cool. And
then from there we moved to look at Katharine. As we said the other night, first name basis, because if you're in Peterborough, why aren't you on first name basis with Katherine of Aragon? And then we moved on to looking at the inside of this beautiful extension, the Tudor extension. So you can't see it on here, but it is on this right side. This Tudor extension is...
We'll be making more content with that.
And it is a beautiful part of the building. And then we moved across to Peterborough's former second queen, Mary, Queen of Scots, her former burial site. And learning about that and learning about Mary was something that was really interesting, because I think she's a underrated figure in Tudor history. Even though she's very prominent in certain decades, I still feel that we don't cover as much as we should do.
Especially in Peterborough history, the fact that she is buried here initially before she's moved over to Westminster by her son James I of England and VI of Scotland. I think we kind of just think she's a Scottish queen who spent the most of her time in France. We don't tend to actually look at her and her influence on English politics, because she had an overwhelming influence on Elizabeth during her reign. So I think she's someone, especially with Peterborough's history.
Telling her story and not making her a footnote in someone else's story.
Of course.
Which
leads us on really nicely to Dr. Owen Emerson. I'll let you talk about that.
So talking to Dr. Owen, or we didn't talk to Dr. Owen, unfortunately, due to scheduling time, but Dr. Owen led a fantastically engaging and informative and accessible talk on Katherine of Aragon and Anne Boleyn, and looking at the similarities and the differences between these two women, where they're linked in their material and physical cultures. And it was just really fascinating listening to Owen talk about it. Owen's got a fantastic way of talking and discussing history and bringing history to life. And it was great to see people from all over the world go to that talk. People were saying...
all over the world. It was an online talk, and you could just see everyone was so engaged, regardless of what time zone, country, where they were. It was really,
high
really
on from the
incredible.
Rocky Mountains, high on from New Jersey.
Yep.
It was really great to see that Peterborough Cathedral and the Katherine of Aragon Festival specifically has got such a reach that transcends Peterborough.
Yeah, and it does transcend Peterborough. And what I also think transcends kind of popular history is what Dr. Owen was talking about, where Katherine and Anne, they are complex women in history. They are not pigeonholed to just be a competition, pitted rivals for Henry VIII. So I think it was really interesting to discuss them in their own narratives and not be a footnote in each other's history.
But it was also great for them to not be a footnote in Henry's story as well.
Yes.
Looking at these women as the two women that they were, the two queens that they were.
Yeah, in their own right.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that.
Yes.
And, it was in terms of what we did yesterday, it was quite a busy and productive day. We were creating content, filming content.
Jackson had about 10 shots of coffee to get through the day.
I thoroughly recommend taking 1 gram of caffeine. Wow, it is. I was hearing colours. It was something else, tell you.
I was going to say, he always teases me because I don't drink coffee, but I just cannot get around the idea of having 10 shots. That's just absolutely absurd.
As Will Ferrell said, it is the lifeblood of champions, and I don't think he's wrong on any count there. That wasn't a movie, that was a scripted line, but coffee is the lifeblood of champions, and I think...
Fair. And if it gets you through the day, it gets you through the day. You got to do what you got to do, right? Talking about getting through the day, today is going to be an extremely busy day. So look forward to all of our content that will be coming out on our social media. There's going to be lots of behind the scenes footage.
In terms of today, though, what are you most excited for? Because I think we've both got different interests for today.
So, as I mentioned in the pre-podcast episode prior to the Katherine of Aragon Festival, listen to the bells.
It is a beautiful toll, isn't it?
It is a beautiful toll. So currently in the cathedral there is a Roman Catholic Mass going on, so I presume the bells are signalling either the end of that or the point in which communion is being taken.
But yes, your interest for today.
I'm interested in the embroidery workshop because I have an A-level in textiles. I've always really, really enjoyed and really appreciated fine art and the textile kind of, I want to say interface, but that's not the word I'm looking for.
World.
Just the world. So I'm excited for that, especially seeing it come from a historical angle. It's kind of marrying my two kind of passions together. And yourself?
I'm really excited for Sonnet Lumiere.
Oh yeah.
I think this is a story of Peterborough and the cathedral's history, woven with some fantastic music, and I think that's going to be a great event to discuss the cathedral, not just through Tudor times, through Catherine's life, but fantastic sirens there. That will not be the music at Sonnet Lumiere. But talking about the history from the beginning of the cathedral, or as it previously was an abbey, to the present day. So that's going to be a really interesting event, and maybe recording some more podcasts as well, because I do love podcasting.
Yeah, I love podcasting. And I also think Sonnet Lumiere is a really nice nod to oral history, of which before the church kind of centralised their hagiographical texts, oral history was the way that religious messages were passed along to everyone else. So it's a nice continuation of that.
Nonetheless, thank you very much for listening to this roundup of day one. You will hear from us tonight for round 2. day two
Day
roundup.
two,
Day
right,
two
day two
roundup.
roundup.
My words are already going. But
Not
you
had
can.
10 shots of coffee today.
I've only had 1, 2.
Three.
Not started that one yet. So 4 after that one. So yeah, that'll be lovely. You can see me later here in colours. You can see Abby later, knackered. And we'll give you round 2 because it's going to be an awesome day. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you. See you later.